Hi everyone, I'm Ken from Crypto Trading KS. If you're new, welcome, and welcome back to our regular community. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin is currently trading at 46,301, down 3.36%. Ethereum trading at 31.78, down 4.17%. My goal is to assist you to be more of a financial blessing and create real wealth for yourself and those you love. We can see Theta is up by 2.97%, Aave up by 0.43%. Success in life is much more than just having money. Real wealth is money plus all the good things that make life worth living, such as fulfillment and meaning, integrity and decency, courage and honor, and inner and outer peace. Fear is a major barrier to experiencing real wealth. In the film After Earth, there was a fantastic quote in there. Fear is not real. The only place that fear can exist is in the thoughts of the future. It is a product of our imagination. Yet fear can seem so incredibly real. Turning to KS zone analysis, these are the 4 stages that all investors and traders progress through to become consistently profitable. The first zone is the fear zone. The kind of behaviors that are exhibited in the fear zone include ignoring the entire market, just focusing on one thing or several things, but certainly not looking at the whole market, ignoring groupings and subsectors and sectors, ignoring the cycle, the trend. No analysis. I call this the Dartboard Concept. It's almost as if people pick up a dart, blindfold themselves. The dart is just the investment or the trade they're going to make. They spin themselves around with a blindfold on and just shoot the dart out at any wall. And that is not a good way to trade and not a good way to invest. It's really dangerous. There's a lot of guessing and hoping and praying in the fear zone. There's an enormous amount of greed, like wanting 1,000x return now, and that gets people sucked into leverage. It's really important to buy at spot until you know what you're doing. Then leverage is absolutely fine. Benjamin Franklin had a fantastic quote: "Don't fear mistakes, you will know failure. Continue to reach out." It's really important to know that success exists outside your fear zone. Fear makes us do what is not in our best interests, and certainly what is not in the best interests of others. Yoda had a very famous quote: "Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering." How can we see that every day on YouTube? It's quite easy. Yoda must be talking about scammers. A member of the community reached out to me and said that he got this scam email, and it's absolutely fake. It's from Ken Trading KS. No such thing. We are Crypto Trading KS. When I write a comment in the YouTube comment section, you will see this highlighted pill behind it, Crypto Trading KS. This person mirrored my style and how I would say things. He's obviously a long-time viewer of the channel. Unfortunately, you're on the dark path. That's not going to end well. I would suggest if anybody's got emails like this, please disregard them and get in contact with me by direct message on Twitter and just let me know. Rule 174, the T-cube method, trend, timing and trigger. We're going to look at trend through the KS process to understand the true trend. Let's look across the headlines from the Wall Street Journal. China's economic recovery is losing steam as stocks recover and the Dow Jones hits a new record. Oil falls as traders fear China's slowdown. There's a problem with Tesla. There's a safety probe. Companies are hoarding record cash amid Delta virus fears. The Fed weighs in on ending asset purchases by the middle of 2022, which will give them more flexibility to increase interest rates. Bitcoin's Fans are suddenly a political force, unified to opposing a tax provision in the $1 trillion infrastructure bill. They're really actually focused on the broker part of that section. Let's check some more headlines. Pfizer-BioNTech has sought FDA clearance for a third vaccine dose. More children are getting infected by the virus. Berkshire Hathaway cuts its stakes in 3 drug makers and General Motors. Audi is to hire 20,000 US workers. In Europe, COVID-19, people are preparing to live with it. Facebook backs an underwater cable project in Africa and Asia. Very interesting article, that one. Transcript. The Fed sees strong growth ahead for the US economy and an end to asset purchases by the middle of 2022. We can see the S&P 500, the proxy for stocks, up 32% for the past year. Gold is down 11%. Bitcoin is up 282%. Let's check out the KS early warning system for the Bitcoin trend. Using the KS model, which is a crypto technical trading model based on institutional price psychology, we can see that we're in the bull market psychology phase. We always compare bull markets to bull markets to bull markets. We never compare dissimilar psychologies. You would not compare a bull market to a bear market. Why? They're completely different psychologies. In a bull market, the expectation is of rapidly increasing prices. What is the psychology in the bear market? The exact opposite, rapidly decreasing prices. It's really important not to cross psychological boundaries. What I like to say is always make sure that you compare the same psychologies. The sunlight of the bull market to the sunlight of the bull market. The darkness of the bear market to the darkness of the bear market. Consolidation phases, which is dawn, to consolidation phases. It's really, really important. The other thing I would like to note, when you have a black swan event, for example, the US liquidity crisis occurred here and COVID shut down the world. When that occurred, that is not a normal piece of Bitcoin's price action. It's really important to normalize those things. That is, think about what would happen to price if it wasn't there. Recently, we had the China miner exodus. That also caused a black swan event in crypto, which was largely responsible, plus the blow-off in excess liquidity that was pumped into the system. For normalizing price now, we're realistically back to the place that we needed it to be at. We can say price is normalized right now, and we're getting ready for the run-up to the top. The run-up to the top will be a little bit bumpy, and you should be prepared for what you're going to see. If we look at the KS model going back to 2017, what we actually see are a lot of up and down movements. I'm always saying price is always moving in a wave. It's moving up and down, up and down. The final blow off top was literally several 100% increase. It's really important to know what is coming. Right now, we are expecting, well, we're seeing in the market right now a pullback. But as things start to heat up, they're going to get really interesting. Let's have a quick look at Bitcoin's technical price action right now. Bitcoin is currently trading at 46,412. It's butting up against the immediate resistance line here. That's a really interesting thing. If it manages to cross this resistance line, it's also got resistance above that 45,830 support level. That's quite constructive for Bitcoin's price. We can also see support below that at 45,268, 45,000, 44,602, and 43,853. We're not even concerned if Bitcoin comes down around the 43,000 mark. That would be just normal, healthy price action. I doubt it will stay there for long. I think we'll see quite a rally up. I've left a link to this article on Medium, the KS model predicting Bitcoin at 486,000 by May 25th. It actually tells you a lot of things about institutional versus retail psychology. It's got some different rules in here, various things that will help you out. What we do is that we look at this particular graph every day to understand the technological adoption of Bitcoin and compare it to the internet. Right now, crypto is growing so quickly compared to the internet. It's just really good you have this source material. In fact, crypto grew so quickly that an average of 19.2 million users were added each and every month for the past 6 months. Wow. When we look at the long-term model of Bitcoin's price behavior, we can see we're just in phase 1. That's just the initial starting phase. We've got a long way to go. It's really good that you understand what the euphoria looked like in the past bull run. We examined this price action up here. We're just at a relative stage now that looks like this. We're just getting started on that run up. When we look at realized cap hodl waves, we have 3 waves per bull run segment. We've had 1, we expect 2 more. As price increases dramatically in profit, the relative unrealized profit grows and grows in the market. That makes it very attractive to shorts to capture that other side of the trade. We see basically 3 waves of profit taking. We've had our first, we expect 2 more. When the end of the bull market comes, we get a lot of number of transfers to exchanges. Across all exchanges for Bitcoin, we see these spikes. Right now, we're really, really low. We're not seeing any topping behavior at all. We keep our eye on the Bitcoin stablecoin supply ratio SSR oscillator. It shows money coming into the crypto market and being deployed into Bitcoin. This is a really healthy sign. Similar activity occurred back here. When we read the news headlines, there's a lot of discussion about health problems globally. Let's check the KS early warning system for health black swans. We only deal with integrity in our community. That means that we source out the data. The cases in the last 7 days, 4,517,320. That's just a 1% increase over the past preceding 7-day period. That's really good. We're seeking to get as many negative week-on-week reductions as we possibly can. We're seeing they are coming through. That's a good sign. Looking at vaccine doses administered, we can see those doses increasing every day. In fact, at the moment, the share of people fully vaccinated is 23.6%. This is the global population. Share of people only partially vaccinated, 7.78%, a total 31.38%. Let's check out the global indices or indexes. It's really important to deal with problems when they occur, not before they occur. If you see something and it freaks you out, it's best to make sure that you're not acting on fear. There has to be a confluence of data. If there's any weaknesses in the data, I will certainly let you know. Let's just have a little look through the global markets. We can see Russia did quite well, as did the US. The lowest performing markets around the world were Brazil and Sweden. Poor old Sweden. We also saw South Africa, Australia, Indonesia, just a couple of areas under some pressure. We can see that the US is entering into the mid-cycle phase. China's slightly ahead, but the headlines are saying China is weakening. We can see the other developed and advanced countries coming up behind, just in recovery. Let's have a look across global stock markets. We saw the VIX spike. The VIX is the fear gauge of the market. It increased. The Nasdaq had some weakness early on, but it's kind of recovered. The S&P 500 has been showing a little bit of weakness, but it's just coming back to support. The Russell 2000 is showing weakness. The Dow Jones is still above support. Canada's stock market is under resistance. Mexico's market is above support. Brazil's market, as we saw, is selling off. It's under a lot of pressure. Spain's market is just retracing. The UK sold off reasonably heavily last night. Italy's market is coming back to support. France's market sold off. It's under resistance. The Swiss market is also showing a little bit of weakness. Germany's market is coming back to support. It's quite solid support. China's market also sold off, but it's about midway between support and resistance. China's Hang Seng Index is showing weakness. Nasdaq Taiwan Index is showing a lot of weakness. South Korea's market is showing extreme weakness. It's sold off quite dramatically recently. Japan's Nikkei 225 index is consolidating. Singapore's index is under resistance. Australia's index has sold off recently. India's market continues up on support. Let's have a quick look through inflation and other data, recession indicators. What we can see is the inflation rate still increasing. That is the 5-year break-even inflation rate. The 5-year forward inflation expectation rate is increasing. The 10-year break-even inflation rate is also increasing. It's at support. We can see the T-bond futures have recovered to support. The TLT, the 20-plus year Treasury bond ETF, is rallying from support. Gold is recovering after that very steep sell-off, but it's coming into a lot of overhead resistance. We can see silver staging a small recovery, but it's really a long way away from this resistance. We can see the TNX, the CBOE 10-year Treasury note yield, hit resistance and failed. The TYX, the 30-year Treasury bond yield, got over that resistance, is coming back for a retest. Let's see what happens. The DXY, the dollar, is currently strengthening on support. Looking towards the recession indicators, we can see the high-yield corporate bond ETF is recovering. That's positive. Copper futures are at support. The airline index is showing some weakness. The transportation ETF, the IYT, is improving and it's being supported. Nasdaq transportation is showing weakness. The Dow Jones Transportation Average, the DTX, is showing recovery. We can see it's above support. The DMT, Dow Jones Transportation Average, is also recovering. The Utilities Select Sector Fund is showing strength. It's above support. This is typically a defensive play. We'll need to keep our eye on this. Nothing to panic about right now, but it is important we see what happens to this particular one. Brent oil is at support. Crude oil is continuously showing weakness. Let's have a look across the broad market. We can see technology doing quite well, consumer electronics doing well. It's very interesting to look at it from this particular perspective. Consumer cyclical, down a little bit. On average, everything is a bit mixed. Before we get into the crypto stocks, let's just have a look at the major movers in the market. We can see Apple rallying up on strength. Microsoft is also rallying. Google is seeking to get above this resistance. Amazon is still showing weakness. Facebook's done a very nice bounce from that lower support level. Nvidia showing a bit of weakness, under resistance. PayPal making a play to come back into play, bouncing from support. Netflix is also improving. As we look across the main markets, there is a degree of weakness, but not anything we would be particularly concerned about. So let's get into the crypto stocks. Let's start with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is currently trading at 46,496, just on that support. ETH trading at 3204. It's just dropped under that support. It's now resistance, but it's not a long way away from it. Total crypto market cap is $1.979 trillion. It's riding up support very nicely. As the Bitcoin ETFs follow Bitcoin, we'll just go through them quickly. Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, just under resistance. CoinShares Physical Bitcoin, BitC, above support. Purpose Bitcoin ETF, above support. BTCC. 3iQ CoinShares Bitcoin ETF, above support. That's BTCQ. BTC ETC Bitcoin Exchange is above support. QBTC, the Bitcoin Fund Canada, is above support. Bitwise 10 Crypto Index Fund is showing weakness. It's below that resistance. You can see that line that was drawn there. That's the same conceptual line that's drawn on all of these charts. It's designed to show relative strength or relative weakness. BitW is unfortunately showing weakness at the current time. Grayscale Digital Large Cap Fund, GDLC, is showing extreme strength. 21XB, 21 Shares Bitcoin, ETP, is just at support. VanEck Vectors Bitcoin ETN is just a little bit below resistance. BTCX CI Galaxy Bitcoin ETF is above support. OBTC Osprey Bitcoin Trust is consolidating under resistance. You can see that it's not the same power as a lot of other funds. BitC 9-point Bitcoin ETF is above support. EBIT, the Bitcoin ETF, is above support. Let's turn to public companies with Bitcoin exposure. Let's have a look at MicroStrategy, MSTR. We can see it's currently under resistance. Tesla has been doing quite well recently, but it's just coming back testing that support. Galaxy Digital has sold off. It's underneath resistance. Voyager Digital VYGR is showing signs of weakness. It's under resistance. For the past 7 days, Square has been selling off. It's under resistance. Marathon Digital Holdings, MARA, is under resistance, but it's looking quite good technically. I think this could actually rally. Coinbase Global is above support. Hut 8 Mining Corporation, HUT, is just consolidating. It's actually showing a little bit of strength here. It's not sold off like the others have. ADE, the Bitcoin Group SE, has been showing relative weakness in comparison with its peers. Riot Blockchain is under resistance. Bitfarms, BitF, continues to be a standout player. Argo Blockchain, ARB, is under resistance and it's showing relative weakness. HVBT, Hive Blockchain Technologies, has sold down to support. BitDigital, BTBT, did quite well, but it's now sold underneath resistance. Silvergate Capital Corporation, SI, is below resistance, but it's also above this particular support line. Let's see what happens there. I'd like to thank everyone that's donated by the buymeacoffee.com/cryptotradingks link. That's really lovely of you. I so much appreciate it. Thank you. At the end of every video, I say crypto is volatile. I'd just like to show you how volatile it is. If we look at Solana, what we see in the past 1 day and 18 hours, Sol has come up 72.02%. This is how cryptos behave. they're non-linear, they're exponential by nature. It's really important to understand just how volatile crypto is. The way you apply that knowledge to Bitcoin-based shares, ETFs, ETNs, ETPs, and public companies holding Bitcoin, you know that Bitcoin is explosive by nature. In the timing videos, we look through Bitcoin's volatility and what actually drives Bitcoin, from the futures market to the options to all sorts of derivatives. It's very interesting to see. Recently, in the past 25 days, Bitcoin came up by 64.44%. That drives the entire crypto market, and also any crypto stocks on the main stock markets. No alt and no crypto stock can escape Bitcoin's gravity. I hope you found the content useful. Please consider sharing this video with friends and families to help them to be more of a financial blessing to themselves and those they love. Thank you to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers. Please say hi and let me know where you're viewing from and if you have any questions. If you would like updates on price movements in the crypto market, please subscribe to YouTube. You can join us on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. I've left details in the description of this video. Crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now.